Hey frag heads and fragrance lovers, welcome back. It's Benjamin here at the Centaur Fragrance channel talking about some more beautiful fragrances. What's your scent of the day? I know that you're smelling good out there. Let me know in the comment section below. How's it going? How's life treating you? And I'm happy that you're here today checking out a video, learning about fragrances and enjoying the fragrant life here, with Centaur Fragrance. So here, let's jump into this one. This is Roja's Midsummer's Dream. Just check out the bottle. Beautiful presentation, guys. I hope that you can see that. I hope that the reflective, that little embossing, that little gold detail and all that's coming through, they put some effort into the presentation. So I did want to shout this out. If you pay for niche, if you go for luxury high-end fragrances, a presentation and how that bottle and how the bottle shape and everything and the details, even with the packaging, the box that it comes in and all that, that's a part of the experience and that's a part of the luxury. So I did want to mention that. But what's this fragrance about? Is it any good? Is it worth buying? What's it all about? Let's talk about that. So I do have to say that this is a weird fragrance. It's weird. It's a fragrance that a lot of people are going to find very difficult to review and very difficult to explain. And I'm going to do my very best here to do. I understand it. I think I've wrapped my nose, I guess, around it, and I can explain it to you. But again, it's a little bit of a confusing fragrance. And if you smell this fragrance, you might not see eye to eye on me about this one. But this is definitely a iris fragrance, iris, cedar, and some vanilla. So the iris here to me has a powdery quality, and it's a very sour fragrance. There's lots of notes. If you go to Fragrantica, it actually has a lot of notes. It's a very complex fragrance. It has a beautiful melange and a blend of citrus, and it looks like it has a lot of really nice, light, playful notes, and it looks like it could even be a mass appealing fragrance. And don't get me wrong, this fragrance does have some likability to it, but it just comes together in more of a unique way. It's not strange or off-putting, but it will be perhaps bewildering or perhaps confusing to some people. And I do have it sprayed on my hand over here. I'm still smelling it. So again, there's a lot of iris here. That's a big player in this fragrance. It's adding to this. It's almost a sour iris. It's almost a powdery iris. There is a lot of citrus supporting it, but the citrus is not in the forefront of the fragrance. It's not my skin chemistry either. I've smelled it from the atomizer. On this atomizer, it almost smells like a white sour fragrance. It almost smells vintage, like an old school fragrance, honestly, from the atomizer and from the sprayer. When I put it on skin, it's similar, but it develops on your skin. And this one, it may vary. It might depend on your skin as well, so take that into consideration too. But this is an Irish fragrance, again, sour. The cedar here is that light, bright, almost transparent cedar, but it has some body to it. There's almost like a white incense and almost some creaminess to this fragrance with the vanilla, but it's not a very sweet vanilla, and there's not a lot of sweetness here at all. But this fragrance does manage to have a little bit of this seductive smoothness to it. It's not terribly exciting to me. Again, it doesn't smell terribly vintage or mature or anything, but it has a little bit of this old world charm. And the biggest two notes in this fragrance, ultimately it's about iris. Again, I've mentioned that so many times, but actually carrot seed, adding musk. So this is an iris musky fragrance. Those are the two biggest aspects of this fragrance, and that's mostly what this fragrance is about. There are supporting notes. There's a number of other fragrances, notes in this fragrance, but ultimately those are the two biggest players by far. So I find it very interesting. It's musky, it's sour, but the iris still has some seductiveness. It doesn't smell like lipstick to me here. It actually smells sour and almost incensey, honestly. So fascinating fragrance, unique composition, and it does have a dreamy, like a dazed quality, like if you were drunk or, or maybe you felt dizzy or something. It does have almost a little bit of that emotion behind the fragrance. So fascinating how that iris, that again is a little bit deep and almost plasticky to some people, almost manages to have that. And that musk here, that carrot seed, also having a little bit almost of a vegetal quality almost to it, but still being almost incensey and musky, really adds this to this confused or like wandering, like you're just wandering around kind of quality to this fragrance. So interesting interesting composition here, no doubt about it. So I think I'm going to get away from the composition. You could keep talking on and on about the composition here, but let's talk about that performance. For me, with this fragrance, I got anywhere from 7 to 9 hours. It's not a beast, but it's not bad. It's very good performance for what it is. It does have some almost, again, instancy feeling notes to it. It might last on your skin a little bit longer than that. It might keep going on for you, especially on clothes. But really, after the 7, especially after the 9 hour mark, people couldn't really smell it on me. I couldn't really smell it on myself anymore. So it might be a 9 hour fragrance for you. But 7 to 9 hours was what I would say. Projection wise, I was getting maybe slightly above average. Sillage was actually pretty decent. Actually, the sillage with this fragrance, I don't want to say it's monstrous, but it's very, very good. And I think that's what they're going for with this fragrance. And of course, there's that carrot seed, and that's a big component with this fragrance. And the iris also usually does add to sillage well. So this, when you walk past somebody, maybe if you sit somewhere for a while, you'll start getting a bubble. But when you walk past people, when you brush shoulders, or you're kind of like if you were to go in an elevator somewhere, there's this invisible scent, this trail, this smell that's behind you everywhere you walk. It's like your shadow. It's like a specter. And they definitely did that. They definitely created a sillage fragrance. And I have no doubt that other fragrance reviewers, a few of them are going to say that this is a sillage monster. So it's got the sillage. Compliment factor, this is actually a befuddling fragrance for me. You might, because you see all this citrus, if you look at the notes, you might think it can get you compliments off the opening. Honestly, the opening to me is where it has this weird jumbled, again, more sourness to it. In the dry down, the soft woodiness from the cedar, the very clean, almost transparent woodiness, and the vanilla, even though it's not very sweet, it does soften, it does have a little bit of charm, and it comes through. And the musks and all this almost incense-y type of quality and powdery quality really settle down, and it comes together in the dry down. And even though it's not really noticeable, if somebody does get close enough to smell it on you, they actually feel like it's quite intriguing, and even a little bit charming, even a little bit seductive. It's got a little bit of coziness and a little bit of seductiveness. So compliment factor wise, it's not really going to be something that really shouts and grabs attention, demands attention, for the most part. But if you do walk past people, and you put enough of this on, and if maybe if you're close to somebody special, this could do something for you. With this fragrance, though, with my final thoughts, with Roja, it's kind of the same thing. I actually like that this fragrance is more unique. I think that more craftsmanship and effort and creativity went into this fragrance, but I still think it's too expensive for what it is. I'll link down below where you can check it out. But this is one of those that gets in that $400 or $500 range, and it's not cheap, but I think the quality's nice. Do I think the price is justified? Honestly, with this Roja, for me, not. It's just not. You're paying for the name brand. You're paying for a beautiful presentation, which that really does matter if you're going for luxury. And I think this is a nice fragrance, but again, I think they charge a little bit too much. But again, I'm not there sitting there with looking at the ingredients. I don't know exactly how much the ingredients cost. I can only guess and surmise. I think the iris is pretty decent, but it's light here. Carrot seed is not cheap, and these musks can be expensive. And are some florals, and I don't really think there's jasmine here, but perhaps there is. And iris is one of the most expensive ingredients in the fragrance game. So I guess I can't know for sure, but I think most Rojas, at least, are too expensive for what they are. Are they luxurious? Are they high quality? Yes. But are you paying more than what they're really worth? I personally think so, but they do have some winners. I think that Creation E, the Enigma, the Parfum Cologne edition, is one of the biggest compliment getters in the niche fragrance game. I think it's one of the best. It's probably the most compliment getting spicy fragrance in the niche fragrance game. It's an absolutely great fragrance creation, and I recommend you try that one out. This, again, fragrance is going to be for those who like very musky fragrances, very powdery fragrances, and if you happen to like powder and musk, might be something that you absolutely love. So let me know in the comment section below, does this sound like a good fragrance? Is this something you want in your collection? Does it sound good? Does it sound weird? Do you like the story of the Midsummer's Dream? And again, if you don't know about the poem and the story, I'll link it down below. So have a beautiful day, everybody. Wear what you love, rock what you got. I hope that you enjoyed my video, and I'll catch you in the next video. Peace out, everybody, and bye.